Yo, guys, welcome to another baddest episode of the Don't Be Afraid podcast. And I am your host, Jamila Oiza Muhammad Jamu. And I have with me.
Tolu Onilere, as usual.
And.
Abednego Norris.
All right, Abednego Norris. Today's episode of our podcast is going to be on how tech has a role in the life of the visually impaired. And going straight into it, I'm going to give you guys a very interesting bio of Abednego Norris. Listen up. So Abednego Jacob, also known as Abednego Norris, is a voice actor, a disability rights advocate, songwriter, singer, the first blind African rapper and host of Raw Radio on Clubhouse. He's also the host of hashtag The Abednego Show on Twitter Spaces and the producer of Grandpa's Diary on Twitter and the host of Sundays with Abednego on Twitter as well. He prides himself as the greatest broadcaster ever liveth and the most energetic visually impaired broadcaster/podcaster in Africa. Abednego believes that everyone deserves a chance and no voice is less important in the society, regardless of their race, gender, ethnicity, and disability type. Solo, this is your cue too. I know you have. This is your cue.
I always interrupt. So
yes.
I had one to start with. So I want to ask. Sorry, and this is just so that because somebody, even before we started, somebody was asking what this topic was going to be about, and I said it's about how someone who's blind accesses tech. Is that the wrong terminology? Is it visually impaired, or is it? I mean, is it okay to call somebody blind?
I mean, blind is perfect to begin with. I think the problem is what has happened over time is a case of the way the word blind has been portrayed, especially when it comes to maybe movies in Nollywood. Shout out to them, by the way. Is the issue surrounding it. So when you just see something like, you're watching the TV and then all of a sudden they believe that you can send blindness to someone in 7 days. And so it sticks in your head that it's a disease. So all of a sudden, guys started to think, okay, why don't we just use big grammar? And at least, just in case you want to tell someone for the first time that I'm visually impaired, let them wander in mystery for a second, enjoy it, and say, I'm blind though. How do you feel now? Do you want to be here or do you want to say your goodbyes?
Right.
So that's what happens over time.
Okay, alrighty. So, sorry. I always have these because I always end up asking too many questions before we get to those things. So I'm going to try and be quick. Were you born blind?
I like to answer this question in the most fun way and the most creative way ever. No, I wasn't. I was born with my eyes. They were open though. However, my subscription came to an end 90 days after birth. So, basically, I cannot renew anymore. And that's how I found myself here.
Okay, alrighty.
Yeah.
Okay, how do you know 90 days? How do you know it was 90 days? Oh, no, sorry. Sorry.
He said that it was 90 days.
No,
I followed them.
Okay, as I was opening my mouth. Okay, that's why I'm going to shut up now. As I opened my mouth, it suddenly just dawned on me. Good one. I'll shut up. Jamila, over to you. Over to you now. I'm not speaking anymore.
No,
I'm not saying anymore. No, I'm not. I'm not saying anymore.
No, I want to hear from you because...
Okay,
you know that 90 days, that's what they told us.
okay.
Well, we're part of the movie where the lead actors, but they just said that the subscription lasted for 90 days, then I could not auto-renew again. This thing,
Yeah,
it's just
I
like
get
the way when you wake up every morning and you're able to breathe.
Okay.
That's your breathing subscription renewing now.
Okay.
It does not come easily. So now, my own is not there anymore.
Okay.
And
No
we're
problem.
excited to be here.
No problem.
Yeah,
And we're glad to have you here. Okay.
here.
All right, I'm shutting up.
So,
Over to you.
speaking of your bio, so many interesting things: voice actor, singer, songwriter. I mean, it's fascinating. How did you get to? I mean, from your voice, I can tell that this person has a very, very good voice. But how did you get there?
How did I get there?
Mm-hmm.
So I'd give a very big props to my primary school, and that's Pacheli School for the Blind. I mean, in fact, they're the greatest blind school in Africa. Don't worry. Take that. I said so. In fact, globally, hello. So I got there, and the first thing I ever kicked off with was comedy, and I had met two guys. One was Peter, and the other was a guy called Madwa Buchi at this time, and they said, yo, I think you're funny. But I wasn't sure at that time. So I gave my first shot. And after then, I did comedy for a while, went on a hiatus. I did not blow again. My career was doing from. Like, I don't know if there's anything like that, but let's pretend.
Yeah, we get it.
But Aisha came back. And, I did a show that required great performance, but I didn't kill it. So I told my brother that night that we were going to go into rapping. And so I kicked off the whole first blind African rapper thing because people might have done it, but they didn't label it anything. So which means I gave it a description, I gave it a movement, and then I started to see other guys that wanted to do it. The songwriting thing, I just found it naturally.
Okay.
Like it just became something that was there. But I know that the biggest of them all would be my voice acting.
Yeah.
It has always been there. My dad and mom used to say so. Shouts to them, by the way.
Shout
And then my brothers would agree that, okay, you had the voice, but I didn't believe. Even until 2018, I took part at the Inspiration FM Next Radio Superstar. They had an edition that year. And I just wanted to go and enjoy myself and be like, okay, let's have fun here. And then, but at the same time, I was like, we'll murder anybody.
Not murder in like
no,
the
like
term,
no, don't worry. Like
Before I go and ask Abby, you see that before I go and ask, okay, it's not your fault. Yeah. Before I go and ask, okay, yeah.
No, don't worry. This is the greatest episode ever. So we're like, let's just do it. I wanted to prove a point that okay, a visually impaired person or a blind person could go and do this broadcasting thing, not in the most professional way, but that feel, that Oscar Wilson feel, that Dan Foster feel. All of those feel was what I wanted to bring to the table. And so I went in and I came out third out of 406.
Wow.
And I moved on. I moved on excitedly. Colin Stecker had me on his show back then on Lunchtime Magazine for Nigeria Info. But guess what? Even after Next Radio Superstar, I didn't know if I had a voice. So people would say, oh, you have an amazing voice. Well, okay, I've heard you. Can we move on now? It was not until the pandemic came and I started to explore with my wardrobe that I knew that, chai, so you have a voice like this. You go give them back to back. And since then, I haven't looked back. Like, it's been from one to the other and exploring other sides of my talent. Like, it never finishes. It never comes to an end. Every now and then, you keep discovering things about the voice and what it can do for you and how to use it. Yes, because I like to say something. No shades to male guys that have great voices, but I say, what shall it profit you if your voice can only make people scream or make girls wet and cannot put food on your table? You're failed.
Speaking along that lines, I was going to ask, can you sing?
Can I sing?
Because can you do the Barry White? I mean, because that would be it. That would be it.
We never can tell.
Well, he has flows. I checked him out yesterday. He has flows.
Okay, yeah,
I
no.
listened to his rap. He has
But
flows.
rap, no. But there's a thing about rap. Rap doesn't, it's not like Barry White or Teddy Pendergrass. Sorry, that's my generation. Teddy Pendergrass. I don't know.
Why does the name sound like a filling station? I'm sorry, bro.
Yeah, it's that old school bass deep thing. Anyway, okay.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. I said I'll shut up. I'll shut up again.
Don't worry, you never can. You never know. Just keep watching the space.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
We will.
We're watching.
Okay, so how was your? So you said you weren't born blind, but I mean after 90 days subscription went off or data finished.
Yes.
And so how was your experience as a visually impaired person shaped your perspective on the world? How do you navigate, interact with it on a daily basis? How did you cope with it as a child?
I think the biggest lesson or the biggest thing I've learned in all my years of being a blind person is be open-minded. So I've had to learn from being a kid. There were days where you feel bad when someone would, yab you with it because you didn't understand the concept then. Maybe some people do not. But now I like to say I am an open-minded disabled person. So which means yab me, I'll give you your own back. Do you get like you collect water So like that's the greatest thing I've learned. I've also learned to know that the world doesn't stop.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get? These are the good sides to it. The world doesn't stop just because, you can't see anymore. Okay, so there are many other persons. What makes yours different?
Mm-hmm.
What's the story guiding yours? They've been hard days, though. There are challenges to it, but I choose to look at the positives more than even the challenges, and the fact that I contribute my quota to wherever I walk into to be like, okay, I just want to do this fearlessly. What's the worst that can happen? Link me up. Do not. So another lesson I've learned is, I don't know, but it's the fact that I want to be introduced as something first, even before you remember the disability.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's very important. Do not. So if you meet me and you go, I want you to be able to say, oh, have you met that voice actor? Then let someone now tell you someone just tells you a fun fact. No, be that guy we know they see. Oh, really? He's blind? Oh, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have to refer first as, okay, this is someone who is blind, you might never get to know my craft or even give me a chance at it. So that's something I've also come to learn growing up as a kid very early. Who's the person that would do the vote of thanks for us today? It has to be, I'm the guy. You get
No, I agree. I think it's the thing I think that society so often, puts a label, that the first label that everyone comes across, whether it's visually impaired, whether it's black, whether it's tall or whatever it is, that immediately comes with it, brings a lot of baggage with it, and so try and transcend that. I think is the key thing. It is the to get the person that you are speaking for who you are, as opposed to the external. Yeah, that's just a part of it. So yeah, totally understand.
So you mentioned that you went for an audition at Inspiration FM.
Yeah.
Did you eventually get to work there or have any career life there?
No, I did not. At that time, this was, so it's weird, but shout out to King's College, by the way. This was secondary school days, though. So the idea was just to, that secondary school guy that will come and beat all of you that are done with school. That was the idea behind it. I think it was just a wicked motive, but it turned out good. Like, I made up my mind to go for the competition in ninth to the day it was going to start. Okay. So which means while other people got golden ticket, I did not. My number was 247. So which means you're going to go around how many persons before you remember me.
Yeah.
But I had to make sure that I was going to leave an impression. So I didn't get a career in it because school came, and I understand that not so many radio stations or outfits are willing to risk it, but shouts to the ones that are willing to risk it. So I had to move on, and that was when Collins Tekke, who used to be at Nigeria Info, had me on Lunchtime Magazine to come through for him, and then I started to in-house guest for It Is Ikechukwu when he was hosting Evening Oyoyo back then on Wazobia FM, and then I'll do stuff from time to time. Shouts to Ezugo Chukwu, the husband material. I'll do stuff from time to time for Nigeria Info on Community Report on Disability Matters, or, on Wazobia Max TV for Aside Hot once in a while. I'd come in and do stuff. So this was just me building. Then I did work at an online radio station, Priority Radio, for about 6 months. This was during still school era, but I just wanted to, enjoy the time, enjoy the moment, while we're still searching for who's going to find the gold and everything. And yes, we're still on the search. Even Cobhams has seen
it. So you work alone or you work with an organization?
None at the moment. To be honest, none at the moment.
You said something that was quite interesting. You said that about them not willing to risk it. Could you what do you mean by that? I mean, to risk employing somebody who was visually impaired, or what, or to risk employing somebody without without the experience.
Okay, so let me give a disclaimer first that the reply here is not tailored to IFM.
Oh no, no, I'm sorry.
No, I know, it's not.
Absolutely, no. Yeah, I'm sorry,
just
and I get you. Sorry, and I wasn't
I know
it wasn't meant to pick on them. Sorry,
no, yeah, of course, I know, but I'm just clarifying. Just in case anyone would feel that way. So this is not even about me, but I think number one, some radio stations are not sure. It's not about me now, but there's this notion, are you sure if we employ a person with a disability, this person would be able to come through, operate our devices? So they're not willing to risk the funds on it. Then they don't want to risk, how about we employ you part-time while you go to school on weekdays and then come in and, even strike a balance and say, we could strike a deal where during the holidays or at the end of your school time, if need be, you might join the family full time. So they are not willing to risk it. They would rather, a lot of the stations would rather have you be radio listener or radio caller or, just that listener that contributes content on the side when it enters your head than allowing you come in front of the mic. On the other hand, there are quite some persons that feel threatened, and I can understand it, but it's not my fault. It's just there.
Yeah, no, I mean, sorry, because I think it is that huge thing around, the not excuse the terminology, the stigma. That there is that perception that listen, person with a disability comes with all these different challenges and all those sort of things, and so it's something that I've always been very curious about. We had a lady on who was quite some episodes ago who was deaf. Hearing impaired. You see, sorry, again, I'm not sorry. Let me no. Sorry, I'm going to use the wrong terminology. I'm old, so please forgive me. I'm just not up to the. I'm not. I mean, what do you call it? But it's all coming from a place of hopefully of love, as opposed to an ignorance, but a certain thing. So please forgive me for that.
No, that's right.
Alrighty. I'm not politically correct as well. So, but I mean, one of the things she was saying was a challenge of, even as she moves around and she goes to, and she's trying to ask for directions, people immediately think she's trying to beg. And that's sort of like, because she's deaf. And that's sort of like, people already make that assumption. And so there's that, all those sort of challenges. But then I also equate it to friends and who would talk about, as a black person living in a white society and being told that you had to be twice as good to just be the same. So that sort of thing about, it's there is unfortunately as human beings, all that luggage, all that baggage that people project onto you. So yeah, so unfortunately some people see it as some people see it as a challenge as opposed to just a difference.
Right.
Yeah.
I think to buttress your point, this is sadly it has to be normal now. That's the reality. So you're going on the road and you're trying to ask for directions, even with your cane guide. First and foremost, because we don't know the term, people already term it as you are holding a stick. So most likely some are not sure. They think it's your legs that have issues, hence why you are holding a cane guide.
Okay.
So secondly, you're trying to say, hey, excuse me, and the guy tosses you 50 naira or 100 naira because he doesn't know. So for in mind, he thinks you're trying to beg, but little does this person know that you just want to cross the road. And sometimes we take our time to educate the ones that want to learn. I have also had experiences where I don't know where that inspiration comes from for some people, where maybe they say you should do something charitable on the road when you see someone strangely and you think this is your best chance to explore. Exploring with me is a bad idea, sorry. Because now, if you give me $100 or $50 now to begin with, what's that going to do for me the next day when you are gone?
Yeah.
Do you get? Strike a conversation with me. If you want to truly have that charitable feel, let's talk. Let's know what I really want or what we can both benefit from each other at the end of the day. I say benefit, not to say that charity isn't great. Charity is great, but mind you, I just might have what you're looking for.
Yeah.
There's this mindset surrounding there's also the mindset surrounding once you're with a disability, especially as blind persons, there's a stigma around, oh, you don't know what you're doing, you have to be overprotected, you have to be, but how about you sit with me and find out first?
Yeah.
I just might be the solution to that thing you're looking for.
Yeah.
Not even from it. You might not even need to spend the money you're spending.
Okay. Do you still get upset, or do you know? How do you deal with it? Do you get upset? Do you get offended?
Oh no, I don't. So actually, I know it's weird, but when they told me if you toss money at me on the road, I'm going to toss it back at you. I know it's weird, but it's violence. Like so that's what happens. But if you stand with me and we have a conversation, and maybe we exchange contacts, I would take it not just because it's not about the amount or anything, but it's because you had a conversation, which means we might keep in touch and learn a thing or two from each other. And if you must do it, do not do it because of pity. Do it. I mean, the pity part is there, like the empathy part is key. I'm not saying you should take it away. You get, because that's part of the perks that you enjoy being in this industry. Okay. But at the end of the day, the fact is this: I'd value the person who sits with me or stays with me on the road to have a conversation first, versus you who tosses the money and walks away. Right. Yeah.
So, for me, I'd like to find out, what are your hobbies? What do you like to do?
What are my hobbies? I enjoy playing the keyboard. I talk for Africa. I don't know if that's a hobby anymore. But it's a hobby, it's a lifestyle. I can be talking in my sleep. Like, so if I wake up at the middle of the night now, I can just start midnight radio in my sleep. When I wake up, I want to make it a reality from the sleep. Sometimes I feel like I do podcasts in my dream. Or I feel like I have the topics in my dream sometimes, and I don't already get the conversation with myself from time to time. Apart from playing the keyboard, I enjoy writing songs. I enjoy helping people. Just let me listen to you share those stories. Although I might not provide solutions always, but people just want to rant.
That listening ear.
Yes, hence why I started something for. There's this group where I'm anonymous. By the way, if you see this podcast, I'm the one. I'm the guy next door, or whatever it is. But that's why I started a particular stuff called the Confession Box. And I found out that a lot of students that are going to be heading into school have a lot of things on their mind they want to share. And they're able to share it with me. I'm able to give advice, move on from it. And then I delete your messages when we are done, because why? That's the confidentiality. So I enjoy solving problems. I enjoy writing songs. I enjoy talking, either for fun, either for any other reason. I enjoy making adverts that only me can listen to. Sometimes when you're just talking to yourself, like anything around you in an advert. So I enjoy doing that as well. I enjoy going out. I enjoy good food. Pasta, spaghetti is my favorite food. Hello.
Aww.
You eat it very nicely. So that's one of my favorite foods. What else do I enjoy doing?
Movies.
Yes, I watch movies, by the way. Nobody should use that term, listen to. I don't listen. More watch movie.
Okay.
I watch it.
Tell us about it.
Maybe not all with my twice. By the way, shouts to Amazon Prime. I think they are doing something fantastic.
Oh, yeah? What's
Netflix
that?
needs to pick up on. It is the fact that I was seeing Gangs of Lagos yesterday. Yes, you guys can call me a latecomer, but while I was seeing
Latecomer.
movie, you're welcome. While I was seeing Gangs of Lagos, I saw this feature that struck me on Prime Video, which I didn't see on Netflix. Maybe it's there for sighted persons, but not for me, for my voiceover to be able to read it. I was able to tell who was playing what role on Gangs of Lagos. So all I needed to do was swipe the screen, do certain gestures, and I knew, for instance, Shola Thompson was the newscaster guy. I knew Tenny was Bimbo Ademoye. I knew Obalola was Toby Bakare, and the likes, just by that single feature, which means you want to carry me along. When a King Sunny Ade song was playing, I knew the title of the song. At that moment, don't ask me for the title, I've forgotten. But I knew the title, which means that's a good feature. Now, there's another one I liked, which I saw. It was the fact that I could tell, how many % gone I was in the movie, not just by the control time of how many minutes gone, but you've told me I'm 70% gone. By the way, I've not finished the movie, but it's a great movie. if I may say so myself, real good. Like, and guess what? I think at least one thing that Amazon and Netflix share in common is the fact that my voiceover can, interpret the subtitles. Like, it's able to interpret when they were speaking the Yoruba part, I didn't need to stress because all I needed to do was listen in for my voiceover to interpret what it was saying, just like it was on the screen.
Okay. But I'm sorry, you've led us nicely into the thing that I've been always very keen on or very interested in and wanted to pick up on about, and it's sort of like the move towards technology. So you've mentioned that Netflix and then Amazon. So what about, are you on social media?
Oh, obviously.
Okay, good. Alrighty. Which platforms do you use?
Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, WhatsApp business. I've not even joined TikTok. People should follow me now that I've not made it on TikTok.
What's your handle?
Not a problem. We'll put it up there.
No reason. Because when I make it, I'll not reply your message on time if you have not followed me now.
Don't worry. No problem.
I'm joking.
No problem. So how do those platforms compare to? Does YouTube give you the same experience as an Amazon Prime and a Netflix, or are they still behind?
No, YouTube is behind. I'll be honest. You know that caption thing they've been trying to do? Why do I have to swipe my screen to hear the translation of stuff when I can just listen in on Amazon and Netflix? So they're far behind on that one. Also, I'm not sure I have subtitles. Maybe they are for you who can see with your eyes, but I can't hear those words myself when I want to, rather than stressing around the screen. Why do I need to watch two things with different noise? My voiceover is already one noise. Then the person acting the movie is already... So I'm supposed to listen to the person acting, but now I'm swiping around my screen. It doesn't beat it for me. So
please explain that to me, because again, you talk about swiping on your screen. Explain that. So how does a visually impaired person watch a movie? Or is it a, what do you call it? Because you talked about obviously, keyboard and all that kind of stuff. Is it the same? Do you use the same keyboard on a computer that I would use?
Everything.
Do you use? Is it the same computer? Does it need to be adapted for you, or what? Or do you find that, for example, using your phone is better? Smartphone is better than the experience of using a laptop, or how do you watch a movie? How do you interact with it?
How do I watch a movie? Very good question. So, okay, to begin with, I watch the movies the way you watch them. Maybe I might miss a tiny bit, but no, that's almost impossible, because if you need someone to score a movie for you, get a visually impaired person who has great sound skills, great listening skills. And so you can tell, this is where, you might not be able to tell this is where they're walking to exactly, but you can tell, these are footsteps. You can hear footsteps. You can tell, this is guns blazing. You can tell this is what's happening. The difference is operating my smartphone. For Android, I have to use what they call a talkback. So when I install it, the difference is while your eyes might be what you use in seeing your screen, the talkback is basically what translates the text to speech. But I'm going to type the same way you would type, maybe faster, maybe not faster, but I'll type. On iPhone, they use a voiceover. So for voiceovers, what that basically means is they get to, what do I call it now? It's almost the same thing. Funny how iPhone is more accessible than Android, except Samsung and Huawei that can compete in the market 100. I am saying this unapologetically so that the other brands can sit up. So for iPhones, you use a voiceover. Now for laptops, it's still the same operating. The way your QWE, the way your QWERTY is arranged is the same way it's arranged for me. Difference is now I use what they call an NVDA or a JAWS. So any of them gets to do the work. Well, I like to explain it in the quickest way, which says basically my phone or my laptop tells me whatever I touch, it talks. So anything I do, it tells me. Then when I say swiping, while it might be the normal up to down swiping or so for sighted persons, we swipe from left to right. So this is swiping now. So when I see an item I need, I double tap.
Okay.
and then it takes me there. The good thing is you get instructions. Oh, maybe this is where you should triple tap. This is where you should have a one tap. This is where you should do a quadruple tap. It tells you all of that. So you're missing out on almost nothing.
Okay.
Another feature is, though it's still being worked on to be perfect enough, I don't think they can. I don't know if they can get that right in our next live, but now I'm not sure. It's the fact that I'm able to read text in images. They are also trying to see, I know that the iOS people are doing their best possible to allow me know that, okay, this picture has a lady in it. This picture has two guys and a lady in it. However, the problem is when they look at maybe a red cup, the thing will now tell you two ladies and a guy with a place that looks like a color of blood or a blood stain. So that's both. At least we're making progress.
Okay.
Yeah.
So again, which comes back. Sorry, Jamila.
No, it's fine.
So then, how do you consume or interact with Instagram, for example, which is really visual?
Yeah, I was going to ask that
Yeah.
too.
How do you? How's that? How?
How do you engage with comments,
Oh, yeah.
likes, videos, reels? How do you post?
How do I post? So I think posting is done the way we all post, the way you go to the camera part of the stuff and
Yeah.
select. I would hear the sound, obviously. The better thing is, so it's iOS compared to Android is what I post is what I get. It's not going to be cut out. But for Android, for instance, I still need a sighted person to make sure maybe the head is not missing or the face is not missing. You know, but for iPhone, what you put is what you get. So we post normal way you post. Now, how do I engage comments? When I want to see a video, thank God for captions. Now, the video that does not have captions, you play it. And if it's something that resonates with you, you give them a like. And then how do you like? You still double tap when you see the like button. When you see the comment, you double tap on comments. Then there is an edit box at the bottom, at the middle, at the downside of the middle. You click on it and then you type whatever you want to type. And on your top right, the same way you see your post button, maybe with a color sign, if I touch it, it tells me, oh, post button. And then I get to click it. I check out Reels, the same place you check out your Reels, where it is on the bottom part or so of the Instagram screen.
Yeah.
I click on it. While you might swipe with maybe one finger, I require 3 fingers to swipe down to down up or up down to get to the next reel or the previous reel. Don't worry, I'll show you guys some example maybe before we go or after.
Please, no, I'm really interested in it because one of the things that I've been quite keen to do as an agency is to look at, and because we focus on digital, it's trying to understand. And one of our clients talks about making one of their purpose is about the idea that everybody deserves the benefit of a connected world. And I think, and I agree with that. I believe very much in that, and the belief that that isn't just location, but it is diversity and it is inclusion. And so, as an agency, it's been curious to say, okay, listen, look, as we create stuff for our clients, are we doing it the right way to make sure that everything we create is inclusive? If the platforms are not, I mean, like my next question is, is there anything the brands could be doing? I mean, like if I'm going to post, is it the responsibility of Instagram or YouTube to convert that information for you? Or should I as a brand be looking at, okay, listen, look, when I post this, to also be posting something that's readable. So as you said, okay, they're now beginning to work on, iOS is working on, there's a lady, there's a guy, or there's 2 guys, and there's a red cup. Should I tag my images to make it easier? So that sort of stuff that makes it understand, that actually, just begins to understand about being more inclusive for everybody. That's the sort of thing. So I'm really curious about it. Very, very curious about it, but yeah.
Okay, so to be fair, it is a collaboration with both the brands and, these social media platforms. Give me a great caption and I would run with it. You would not even know if it's a visually impaired person that just logged onto your page or not. So you give me a caption like, let's say you want me to watch your skit and I see something like, when your mother falls off 3-story buildings, how to save her. Or when, when I just see falls off 3-story buildings, oh, catchy. It's the same marketing strategy you used for everyone. But because I'm able to read it, I'll click on it. Now, the biggest mistake you can make as a brand is to write in fonts. I know that that's the best way, but if you must write in fonts on your caption, if it's a picture, please make sure that it has the text of what you wrote on your caption on that photo. I don't know how it has to be done. Maybe that's why we always say swipe for more or something. That's why I see that it's in the caption these days. In fact, it's something I see a lot now, which is cool. So if your caption is catchy and it's not written in fonts, I'm sure that we can find a work around it. Now, again, does that mean that brands should stop using fonts? No. If you go see my videos where you can read the lyrics, shouts to my brother, by the way, Beat Boy. He made sure that he wrote in fonts. So as you're listening to the words, you can read. Now, that cannot carry a visually impaired person along, obviously. However, what is there is the fact that you read this stuff, and then this blind person can run with sounds that they are listening to bars or whatever is being said in this video. Then again, I think if the device companies and these platforms can come together, even with these keyboards companies, and say, hey, what feature can we add whereby maybe if you turn on a particular feature on accessibility, you'll be able to read fonts. That way, brands would not have to worry about, should we use fonts or not? All we might just need to do is click a button and say, translate from font style. Okay. And then everyone will be fine. Everyone will be good. You would not have to divide the market that you're trying to catch. Because obviously, you can't make 2 posts and say, hey, this one was specially made for you with a visual impairment. This one was specially made for you, the target audience. It means you're dividing along the line. So some persons will not even understand what's playing, and they might think that that's discrimination because they don't get it.
Yeah.
So instead, a conversation needs to be had between these platforms as well as the brands. The brands it will be easier for them to say, we should make sure our captions are catchy. We should make sure that they are readable and stuff like that. I'll give you an instance. If I go on Instablog and I see images of stories being told, I can swipe to read it. Sometimes it is hard for certain device users to do same, to swipe, because that feature is almost non-existent. So this is where there has to be a unifier that, okay, this is what we want to do. It's not about the competition first, but how are we putting this out? But the brands, at the end of the day, like we say in our local parlance, na smalls.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
So how do you maintain a positive mindset and overcome moments of frustrations or setbacks in your journey as a visually impaired person?
I think it's simple now. It's not simple now. Okay, it's simple for me. First and foremost, I always put it at the back of my mind that the world does not owe me anything. That's the first tip. Number 2 thing on my mind is the world will not always be kind to you. So the earlier you face those realities and sit back down and say, hey, this is it, you would have a reason to pick up. If you get a cut now on your hand, as we're sitting right here, you get a cut on your hand and I get same cut. Is it not the same yekba we wish out?
Sure.
There is no difference. So if I'm waiting for someone to come and always pet me, the world is going to leave you behind. Play your part. Let it be that extra petting or that extra empathy you're getting is just the, extras on the cake. So that on days when you don't see it, you know that you have the need to keep pushing. My dreams are valid. Like, they are overvalid. I don't even know how to explain it. They are so valid that if you spell valid 42 million times, it would... See, just when you get to your mirror this night, shout valid 3 times, I will appear. That's how valid I know that my dreams are. It might take a while, but they are overvalid. So it's a positive mindset. It's a reason for me to keep going. Then the need to know that the competition market is not different. There is no... in the broadcasting industry, for instance, you would not say there's visually impaired competition, there's sighted competition. In the maybe rap industry, There is no, rap as a visually impaired person on your own lane. No. You want to be able to sit and have conversations with Vec, MI, ICE, reminisce. You want to do same in radio. You want to have conversations with the Oscars, with the Belarus's, with the Ike Osake Duas, Toke Makinwad, everyone, Francis, Ilo with the flow. You want to have same conversations with them, Cheche, and say, hey, I'm coming to get this same award. We've been nominated. They would not sideline you and say, oh, this one is just for you. No, that's not. You're not in the market. So all of those things helps me stay healthy and know that, I have a great family support as well. So if I fall, I have no choice than to, yes, I would have to be picked. If you don't pick up, someone else will pick up that call and keep it moving.
So, you talk about, and that's interesting about the positivity and everything. Looking at the tech, specifically, I'm curious to find out which piece of tech could you not do without?
I think the voice feature on my phone and my laptop, I obviously can't do without it. Because if you take that away from me, hey, remind me of those days when I used to say, Abba, help me read what they write. you know those button phones back then. You say, help me read what they write. So someone sends you a message like, call me back, I love you. Then they would still laugh at you and say, hey, who is loving you? You don't want to go back to that era. So please, that's like the biggest thing you should not take away from me. I beg. Is number one. Then for social media, please, don't take away my WhatsApp and my Twitter. Instagram is very cute, but you see this Twitter is for my violence. WhatsApp is for my peace of mind.
Wow.
So
violence, Twitter.
No, it's violence.
You're causing chaos on Twitter.
I'm a peaceful somebody.
But you just said it's for violence.
No, it can go both ways. It depends. If you behave yourself, you're not going to see that part.
Alrighty.
You get.
What voice is the voiceover? I'm interested because I always remember some years ago that, Google Maps or whatever it is, or the Google Directions always had like a foreign voice. And when Google actually allowed it to now have a Nigerian voice, everybody was so excited at that concept. So are you able to choose the way the voiceover is done? The voice, are you able to choose whether it's male, female, or this is the standard? It comes with this device and that's what it is.
You're able to choose if it's male or female. But they're just the UK, you have the US, Australia, Finland, German, all of those places. We don't have for Nigeria yet for iOS, but for Android, we do. But I think that voice needs so much improvement, though. But shouts to Google for at least taking that step.
Okay.
But we can actually configure and say, for instance, I use Siri 2, which is the UK voice, because that's the one I like. There are so many of them. There is Karen. There is Alice.
There's Karen.
Yes.
Even with all the Karen, even with all the apps on Karen and stuff.
There's Karen, there's Alice, there's Nathan, there is Daniel. Plenty. Yeah, a lot of them. There's the Siri default, male and female, for UK, for US.
How does it read Nigerian, let's say Nigerian words like Ozumba Mbadiwe? How does it convey it properly, or is it that you then have to also understand?
We can only try right now and type it out.
Okay.
Do you want us to try?
Yeah, please.
Okay.
Please.
Let's see what we come up with.
Okay.
We are going to spell Ozumba Mbadiwe. So let's see what we come up with right now for Ozumba Mbadiwe. Okay. So let's get somewhere to type. No, don't worry. So yes, that's another special feature I must share with you. Is the fact that we can actually dim our screens for privacy. That's another nice feature.
Okay.
It's weird, Abby.
Okay.
So this screen is blank. It does not make sense to you, but I'll make it. So let's spell our Ozumba. How do they spell it again, Lagos people?
I was going to help you on except for the 90-day thing. I'm still not over that. OZUMBA.
There's a space in between.
Ozumba.
Yes. MBADIWE. Mbadiwe, yeah. Oh, can you say that again? Just by the
Let me slow it down.
30% click search field is editing Abednego insertion point at end.
So it's like some weird pronunciation, but it's correctly here on your screen. So this is the typing.
Curtain off.
Now, it makes sense. That it's the same thing that you just read.
But
Yeah.
even then, the speed of the voice. How fast do you have that voice going?
Yeah, but this is even slower. So I had it at 70%. So let's get it back to the original, please.
Yeah, 70 and so.
50%, 65%, 70%. Click search field is editing Abednego insertion point at end.
So it also told me that that's the end of the line. That's why it said whatever you pronounce, and then says insertion, pointed end.
Okay. So is that the same speed that the text is read when you're watching a movie?
Yes, yes. If this is what I want, then that's the speed. If I slow it down to what I did a minute ago, then it means that that's how it's going to read to me, because it's using my default voiceover.
Because the reasons, one of the things I was wondering was that how do you cope with the instructions versus the voiceover versus the actual voice in the film? So it was, I presume the voice in the film is not speeded up.
No. The voice in the film does not say nothing. It's this one. They use your default voiceover as what translates to you if you're going to want to use the subtitled thing.
Okay.
So, yeah, so you're still going to hear the normal actors and actresses, but what this one does for you is it helps you in reading out.
Okay.
So you don't have a default voice that came with the movie, unless you do that. What's that other thing they do, like for Netflix? There's this thing they do where you just change it totally, and then you never get to hear the people speaking, the original actors. You get recorded voices.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So,
switch
Yeah,
language.
and yes, and that's not why I paid the subscription.
Okay. Can I ask you? You've been kind enough to do a demo of Ozumba, by the way.
Yes.
Can you do a quick demo of any film clip, and just to see, if you don't mind?
Okay. Let's see if we're gonna find Gangs of Lagos.
So you can eventually finish it.
No, not be here. So let's open Prime Video so that you could see for yourself. Okay, we need to turn off airplane mode first for a sec. Thank you very much. So we're going to put on the trailer for the movie.
Okay.
Okay. So now let's get logged into. Okay, so I just logged into my account. I need to put on the brightness so that you'd see better. Okay, so let's look for Gangs of Lagos. Okay, so okay, so there is my fault here. Let me see if I can play the trailer.
Okay. Anything. Yeah, just anything. I'm just curious to be able to understand.
Okay, so this is my fault. No, not my fault, but
Okay. You got it.
okay. So let's do this. Let's do this now. Okay. So we found our Gangs of Lagos, I think, and I'm trying to see. Okay, so I don't know why it's jumping. Okay, so let's see how we would play. Let's see how we would play this stuff right here. Okay. You know, we can't play the movie, so let's play the movie trailer.
Yeah.
Okay, so we shall play it regardless.
As you go through, are voice assistants any help? Because as you had to go through quite a few, is it, does Siri or Alexa be able to give you the shortcuts? You find does that help, or it's still?
No, it's still normal.
Okay.
There are no, so for this one, you can't, unless maybe Netflix puts like a whatever it is. So let's just play the movie
Okay.
instead.
All right.
So here we are. This is Brotherhood. I don't know why it's.
The great spy needs to tell the truth. He needs to look in the mirror and see a different person looking back.
Voiceover on. Landscape. Charge port to the right. Prime video. Video. Double tap to show video controls.
The only way they're going to believe you're alive is if you do whatever it takes.
WhatsApp. Now. Unlimited simple shade 1. Speech off.
So yeah.
Speech on.
Let's see if we can find the people in this movie.
Video. Video. Diagram. Light. Close. Brotherhood. Heading. Cast not connected. Video. Video. Diagram. Light. Scout. Close. Brotherhood. Cast not connected. Enable audio and subtitle. Video.
Okay.
Double tap to show video.
So
Diagram.
we obviously have
Leave the open door. Demo titular.
Deyemi Okonlawo
Video.
is on. So that's the name on the screen now.
Okay.
They just pronounced his name, but I didn't get that. So,
Fast forward 10
well,
seconds.
he's here, obviously.
Close. Brotherhood. Edit. Video. Video.
But I can give you, you can see that he's actually on this stuff.
Okay. Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you. All right.
All right.
There was something you wanted to show us. There was something you wanted to. Something.
Oh, yeah.
There was a test you wanted to do.
Which one?
There was a test you apparently wanted to do with us.
Money one.
Ah, that
Yeah,
one.
that one.
I like that one. I must tell you myself.
Okay.
Okay. So, let's enjoy the abilities of being blind for a sec. So you both have to close your eyes.
Okay.
You know that the first problem here is how you're going to stretch your hand to know that I'm giving you money.
That absolutely.
That's the first problem. So,
Okay. All right,
you
my eyes
both-
are closed.
Yep. So I'm going to show
Can I
you.
cheat?
No, you can't. If you cheat, problem.
Okay.
Day. So I'm going to give you a note, and you're going to tell me how much this is. Ready?
All right. Can I use my right?
Here you go.
Okay.
How much do you think that is?
Feels like 200 or 500 naira.
You have to pick one now.
Oh, we cannot choose.
He says we cannot choose.
Can I describe? Can I describe? Okay, she's got the.
To the where's your hand?
Okay, it was past me. I've already opened my
Yeah.
eyes.
Ah!
No, I've opened my eyes because I was going to describe
Don't
what
worry,
you're
I'll
doing.
change
Okay.
yours.
For those who are, and for those who are listening as opposed to watching. So
Okay.
yeah, so I'm passing it back to you
All right.
for you to feel and then to pass back to.
Well, so the thing is, I already opened my eyes. I need to like 500 naira.
I'll change it. Give me.
Okay, no problem.
I got you.
All right.
Alrighty,
Let me give you a
Eyes
different
closed,
note.
okay.
I got you.
Okay.
This is a
Okay.
different note. I promise.
alrighty,
Mm.
It is a different note.
okay,
Mm-hmm. Can I stretch my hand to get it?
Yes, you can. You're permitted.
okay.
Here you
He's
go.
handing over the note to her. Okay, it's in her
How
hand,
much do you
Okay.
think that is?
and she's having a feel of it.
500 naira.
Ladies and gentlemen, is the close your eyes challenge.
Okay. Alrighty. Keep your
Did
eyes,
I get it? Did I get
keep
it?
your eyes closed.
Close.
Okay,
Keep
still
it closed.
closed.
Okay. Alrighty.
Okay.
Okay.
So I guess I'll give Tolu his now
Alrighty. Okay. I'll
Alright.
keep mine
before we
closed.
review both amounts.
Okay.
Okay.
Alrighty.
So,
And I'm just there with you. That's my hand.
yes.
Okay. I'm having a feel now. No idea. I have no idea at all.
Feel it properly.
I am.
Because you like to spend money, so touch it. Touch it.
I am. What I'm trying to do, is I know that on keyboards, what they do is that on the G and the H, there's a button.
Nah, you'll
That'll-
never find out on any of our notes.
Yeah, so that's what I'm sort of almost looking for that. The way you would look on a button.
It's not there. Give up.
Okay, that's it. So no, I have no idea. I have no
Okay,
idea.
so both of you review each other's amounts.
Okay.
We can open our eyes.
Alrighty.
You
yeah.
open your eyes.
No, I've taken the money back from her. So she doesn't
Okay.
know. You
So-
said, you, said, you said 500.
Yeah, I said
This
500.
is-
Okay, no, this was a 500.
Yes, this
But,
was yours, Tolu.
initial-
Yes, but I
And this
couldn't guess
was-
it.
I was going to say 100 naira.
Yes, it was a 100 naira note. It was a 100 naira note. Okay.
Sorry. Support Tilo.
Alrighty, can I?
Was he
Okay,
low?
Yes.
sorry, okay, I'm gonna flip it round. I'm gonna give you a note.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
I'm gonna give you a note to test. Okay.
Wahala.
All right, I've handed the note. What is that?
You know the problem with this note, eh? You know that I cannot tell you, but this is fresh money. Well, wait. This is... Let me see if it's the same. Okay, let me see something.
Okay.
There's this confusion we always have in Lagos, but let's try. Should in case I don't get it, it's because I'm not in the mood. This 1,000. No,
Okay.
me too.
Our audience, is it right?
This 1,000.
Okay, alrighty.
Abi?
Okay. Yep. Let me
Are
give you
you
another one.
sure?
Let me give you another one.
This one, all of them are looking. This 500. No, wait, that's 500 and this is 1,000.
Okay.
Why
No,
you?
because you had it right the first time.
Wait now.
You had it right the
That's the
first time.
point now.
You had it right the
See,
first
both
time.
money look handsome.
Yeah, you had it right the first time. So the first one I gave you
Was
was
the
the
1,000,
The 1,000.
500.
This is the 500. Okay.
Hey, wait, let me see. Wait, bring that one first. Let me show
Okay.
you something.
Alrighty. Okay.
You know the problem we have in this Lagos is there's this argument of why one is lengthier than one. So now you just put me to shame by telling me that 500 is lengthier than 1,000.
No, but then again, which is the reason why I wanted to even do it is the 500 is the new currency.
Oh no, this one we no go know.
Okay.
I don't know this yet. I don't know. I think there's nothing to specify like the old ones that are easier to just know that it is obvious to know. So I've not gotten to that level yet. For the new notes. Hello, new notes. I finally found you in life.
So how do you no? Okay. So how do you tell? How do you tell?
Yeah.
So normally, by the way, there's an app called Cash Reader
Wow.
that can tell you how much you're holding as a visual impaired person. But if I'm not using that app, there's this argument that has to do with length. Now, once in a while, it could be wrong. So shouts to instinct, but it's more of telling how much you have with the whole length thing. But this length one shocked me today.
Okay.
See, the 1,000 can shot past the 500.
Is it because I wonder if have you anywhere else outside of Nigeria?
Yes.
Do they, let's say in the UK or whatever, how do they? Because I mentioned about I was looking for the bumps like a braille reader kind of thing. Do they help do that outside of the country, and we're just short here? Is that or is just that standard people? Yeah. So
I think they can know with the way it's designed.
okay.
They carry them along there. Here, we are sharing the same money, and that's how you... I've once had an experience when I gave a bike man 500, and he told me it was 200 and left. So shouts to the guy, Sha. It's me.
You actually read. I was going to ask you that question of, do you get that happen to you?
No, it's been long. It can't happen again because in order not to mistake, you wear clothes that have plenty pockets, or better still, if you hold a bag, you keep your 500 naira notes one side, your 200 one side, your 100 naira one side, so that should the driver so I was giving a driver money today, and I said to him, "Hey, here you go, 1,000. I need my change 500." And so what I did to him there is to tell him, "Hey, I'm aware just in case
Okay.
you think you may want to run away or tell me that I didn't give you $1,000."
Okay.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Okay. All right. It's interesting. Thank you. But I wanted to ask you as well.
Right.
A few questions. One of them is what would you like to get out of tech? You mentioned the Cash app that reads cash. Is there something, like the cane, has there been, and I can't remember if I've seen this, the cane, you mentioned about the cane. Is there electronic canes now that actually read? Is there Google Maps that tells you, that's able to, because they now have Google Map
Description, yeah.
Yeah, that takes you around on the streets and stuff. Is that helping, or what would you like? What
would you like to get out of tech?
Yeah, if I was gonna build an app or do something that to help visually impaired people.
First and foremost, do an app with a great interface. I think a lot of people feel do an app with a great interface. That's it, first thing. Secondly, if you're going to do an app, maybe it's an app that can actually tell you word for word your bus stop. We have it, but the data is... Have you seen when something drinks your data?
Yeah.
I tried it one time and 500 MB was gone in 30 minutes. Because I think that app was not made for Africa majorly. but it was right in telling you each bus stop. So we need something of sort. Also, we need an app that would help you access books faster. Do you get like where if people are buying books, can you also say, hey, we want to carry these people along to make sure that they can access our books, even if it's at a fee we're going to pay? So you need a fine interface. Any idea is fine. Should you want to make an app where, a social media platform where we can interact? Great. Should you want to make an app? Yes, I think this is one. An app that can enable us seamlessly operate, the gadgets or something of sort on a radio, on maybe not TV, but on radio, on podcast recordings, on the DJ set. We have blind DJs, by the way, fantastic ones that play real good.
Okay.
But sometimes, once in a while, they get conflicting sounds because you have to listen to, both songs playing from the stuff, and then you have your JAWS or your NVDA that you are also listening for. You're listening out for that. So maybe an app that can enable you do those things seamlessly, that you would not need to go through the stress so much, would do a lot good. I mean, I want to be able to produce a radio show that I host, so that should the person not show up that produces me or on my podcast, I'd know that if I use this app for today, I'm good. Spreaker has been able to do something like that, but you just have 15 minutes. But that app has saved life for a bit. Anchor is trying to do same with Spotify, but I've not really explored it to know yet. But we need apps like that just works.
Okay. And do you find, you mentioned data? Is that one of the not downsides? Is that one of the things that do you find you use more data than a sighted person?
Yes, I do. Definitely. You need to always update stuff from time to time. You are downloading things more than everyone. So what would cost you sometimes on some websites, not all, something that would cost others maybe a little penny to get for, you buy the data and you still go through the process of downloading afresh. But that guy has seen the shorter site. But you, because you don't want to take that risk and damage what you are managing, you have to go through the longer route and make sure that you get it right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. It's interesting. So when you're using the speech, do you have to be online, or does it work offline as well?
Fine.
No, it's actually offline.
Okay.
But on some days you have to be online because you never can tell when. If you are like me who activates auto update, you would always have something updating in the background always. So you could just have new voices that have been added. You could have new app updates that you're going to find, and all of those things. They're very important to me. But for some persons, they'd rather not activate anything, so they are good to go. They would be able to save up more data. At least in 2 weeks, I consume, every 2 weeks, putting a month, I consume about 40 gig.
No, you're kidding me.
No, I'm not. Because I have to feel among, so I have to join the party complete. And you want to enjoy it. So if everyone is doing HD, for the fact that you don't need the video, you must shall watch it.
40 gig per month?
Yes.
Wow, okay. All right, that's heavy.
Mm-hmm.
That's heavy usage. Okay. All right, good to know. It's interesting. Very, very interesting. Thank you.
Wow. So before we round up,
Yeah.
is there anything you want to say to any visually impaired person? Any advice you'd give to them, and advice you'd give to we, the sighted, as to how to relate with the visually impaired, and advice as well to visually impaired on, the don't give up motivational kind of speech.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, this has been this is one of the greatest podcasts ever, and
Yes,
this
yes.
is the greatest episode so
Yes,
far.
yes.
Yes, I said it unapologetically. Yes. So, to be honest, to my visually impaired people, be open-minded, disabled person. That's the first way to survive this market. How can you relate with us? I think first and foremost, sit down, have those conversations, invest in us. From education to entertainment to lifestyle, invest, because you don't do it. See, the funny thing, if you want to come from the business angle, I mean, if you're going to create a record label, You're not going to say you are doing charity labor. Sit down, have the conversation with me. Let me agree if I can do it or not. Do you get? Invest. Give us a shot at it. Let us have a shot. Let us show you what we have first. And then do not use because I made a mistake to judge the next guy. That next guy might just be the perfect guy for the job. I feel like that's another thing I need to add. Also, when it comes to playing, this is why I'm saying it. For visually impaired persons, go for what you want. Be confident. From friendship to tech or everything, go for that dream job. Go for everything. Let them tell you no. One day it will turn yes.
Don't be afraid.
No, don't be. Oh, do not be afraid. This is the podcast.
Yes.
And finally, just in case they serve you plenty breakfast, please stop crying. You understand? Like, I know that this is about tech, but guys, let me tell you, why I'm adding this very importantly is because, see, normal, if you want to serve breakfast, please serve it in peace. I don't know of other people, but I'm saying it again. Find out if your person, the visually impaired person you're with, is open-minded in friendship, in whatever. Find out. Don't just assume. Don't just assume. Because for instance, now, if that relationship, the person they fear to serve you breakfast, and you not tired, serve the breakfast already. Let everybody just be going home. Same thing goes for if you're going to start a relationship with anyone, friendship or anything of sort. I'll give you guys this tip today. If you're going to ask questions about, how did you do this? We already know that's the question. One of the mistakes made is when you start with sorry or don't be angry. That's where it pisses them off. So ask the thing already. Highest highest.
Go straight to the point.
Yes, because they want to be treated as I'm your guy.
Right.
Don't treat me as that's your, no shades, but that your Christian, that your religious friend. You just want to pray. You know, maybe I want to be gangster for a second too. Test it first and see. Don't conclude for me. So yeah, these are my advice to everybody. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me on the greatest episode. If I say so, do talk the name of the podcast again.
Don't be afraid.
See, ladies and gentlemen, if you are not listening to Don't Be Afraid,
he has taken over.
You will not be able to sleep this night. You're gonna be afraid. So you know what? Do what? Tune it and plug it there.
Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much, Abednego. This has been such an interesting episode, and I really hope that you guys love it as much as we did. Don't forget to follow us on our social media pages, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, DBA_podcast. Listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and thank you very much.